I'm Jamie Kondis, and I'm here to talk to you today about something that we see very frequently in the pediatric emergency department, and that is dehydration. Children can get dehydrated very easily for a variety of different reasons, but the most common reason that we see dehydration is when children suffer from something that we call gastroenteritis, which is an illness that usually is caused by a virus and has vomiting and diarrhea associated with it. Vomiting can lead to dehydration, but diarrhea often leads to dehydration. There are two types of dehydration. There's mild to moderate dehydration, and then there is severe dehydration. If your child has mild to moderate dehydration, some symptoms that they might be having are just feeling a little more tired than usual, not wanting to play as much. When they're crying, they're not making as many tears or maybe no tears. Their mouth looks very dry or their lips look dry. If it's a young baby, that soft spot on the top of their head might actually feel sunk in. Also in an infant, they may be making less wet diapers than usual, which would be less than 6 per day. If your child has mild to moderate dehydration, you should call your pediatrician. They may or may not need to come in to the doctor or to the emergency department. Your pediatrician might just suggest that you give them some fluids at home, and the best fluids to give when your child is mild to moderately dehydrated are some electrolyte-containing solution, such as Pedialyte. If they won't take it in a drink, sometimes you could even make it into a popsicle for them to take. Now, when you get into severe dehydration, the signs become things like the child being very lethargic or very sleepy, not wanting to do any of their activities, and making very few wet diapers, less than 1 or 2 per day, or not urinating throughout the course of a day if it's an older child, having very dry, tacky skin, their eyes are sunken, and that soft spot feels very sunken if it's a young infant, and they're just really not responding much at all. With severe dehydration, you should always call your doctor right away or go straight to the emergency department. They may not need to stay in the hospital overnight. We may be able to give them IV fluids in the emergency department and then send them home, but it's very important that they be closely monitored for several hours to make sure that they're not getting more dehydrated. Dehydration can be very scary, and it can also come on very suddenly depending on how sick your child is. If you have a child with an illness that involves vomiting and diarrhea, make sure that you pay close attention to the signs of dehydration.